everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point. And today we are here to talk about my girl, Wendy Williams. If you've been following the news, you know that on Thursday, Wendy announced that, well, Wendy didn't announce, it was reported that she had filed for divorce from her husband, that they came into work to do the Thursday show, and she had security on hand and a process server there, and they served him with the divorce papers, and then he was escorted, I believe, off the premises. Kudos for Wendy for finally putting this behind her. I didn't do a video last week for several reasons. One, I've been refurbishing the deck on the back of my house, and it damn near took your girl out. And then two, my daughter had the flu last week, and she thought the flu was going to take her out. You know, so taking care of her and just basically tired. It's only in the 80s here, but it feels like it's about 100 degrees. So a lot going on. And then plus I wanted to wait until today to see if Wendy was going to actually do a live show today, and whether or not she was going to talk about the divorce. Because if you follow the Wendy Williams show, you know that Friday's show is actually taped live after the Thursday show is taped, and then she has a 3-day weekend. And so I knew on Friday that that was going to be a pre-recorded show. So Wendy came out and she was looking like brand new money. And I know that when she came back on March 4th from that long hiatus that she took, where she claimed she was dealing with her Graves' disease and then that fracture on her arm that hadn't healed, or in her shoulder that hadn't healed. And she really looked good then. And then, you know, shortly after her return, she reported that she had been living in a sober house because she had relapsed. And I can't remember if I did a video where she was talking a few weeks ago about they had went camping and the people took the video. Actually, I don't think I took the notes for it, but I didn't do the video because I was working on that doggone deck. But anyway, she just seems to be, as time has gone on, seems to be doing better and feeling better. And a lot of people were disappointed that, you know, all this stuff is going on in the media where Kevin's alleged mistress has allegedly had well, we know she had a baby, but there seems to be some question as to whether or not it is Kelvin's baby. And then that's the other thing. I thought his name was Kevin, K-E-V-I-N, but evidently it is K-E-L-V-I-N. So Kelvin dealing with the situation with the mistress, and then this video came out of him where he was at the mistress's condo or something, and she has a new Ferrari right now. So people were talking about, you know, he's spending all of Wendy's money. And then some story came out after the divorce announcement that people are saying that Wendy paid these people to come out. But this story is so ridiculous. Well, I mean, it might be true, but the story itself, the interview that this guy did, was so ridiculous. I couldn't even take it serious and actually didn't even watch the whole thing. But basically, he's saying that, you know, if you've ever been to a Wendy Williams show, I've never been to the show, but I actually attended a comedy concert that Wendy did a few years ago, and she came to our city. And so she has this hype guy, and I'll pull out that picture because I took a picture with him. And so he pumps the crowd up. He's playing music and all this stuff. So I guess it was before the taping of one of the shows, and he was pumping up the crowd. And so Kevin had this guy, and he introduced this guy, and the guy's name is like Elvion or Elevon. Y'all know I be forgetting to write stuff down. But anyway, it's really not even important. But he basically did an interview with his wife, and he's claiming that him and Kevin allegedly had some type of sexual relationship in exchange for Kevin getting him on and helping him get a record deal. And I guess he never got that record deal, but people are claiming that Wendy is paying these people to come forward with this story, which I think is ridiculous because, one, I don't think Wendy would do that. And two, what type of man do you have to be that you gonna come out with your wife and say that you had sex with this man in hopes of becoming, getting a record deal. Like, to me, people are just so dang crazy. But anyway, this video is about Wendy. It's not about that foolishness that's going on. So Wendy came out and she looked even better. I thought when she came back after the Christmas break that she looked really good and really revived. But today she really looked like a burden had been lifted off of her shoulders. Of course, she wasn't wearing the wedding ring, but she did have on that other real big ring, and I'd be getting the rings confused. But there was only one ring on, and then I'm sitting there like trying to turn in the direction of the camera, and I'm thinking, okay, but that ring is on her wedding finger, but maybe it's all optical illusions. But she only had on one ring. She talked a lot about her son. You know, she kept saying, you know, me and my son, or me and Kevin Jr., you know, we're doing this, we're doing that. She's getting ready to leave the sober house. And I did read a report last week that she doesn't want to go back to her house in New Jersey, that she's actually looking for a place in Manhattan. So whether she stays in Manhattan or she goes back to the house, she is preparing to leave the sober house. And she said that Kevin Jr. told her that, you know, when she returns to the air, you know, don't hide from this thing. Go out there, be bold, be confident, be vivacious. You know, don't be ashamed. You know, you are ready for the next journey in your life, and, you know, to act like it. And she said that on Friday, her sister came to town from Miami, and they spent the day together. They went out to dinner. She had a really good time. And then she said on Saturday, 6 of her close girlfriends came to the sober house, and they spent the day with her. You know, they had lunch. She had her leftovers from when her and her sister went to dinner the night before. And so she just really seemed jovial and upbeat, like she's just ready to face this thing head on. And so, of course, everybody was sitting there, you know, waiting for her to say something, but the crowd was very encouraging. They were cheering her on. They were, you know, really excited for her. And so every time it was like she wanted to say something, or she would just give a little bit, you know, a little tidbit of, you know, what was going on. But at no point did she ever come out and say that she had filed for divorce, that her and Kevin had separated. I think the closest she got to it when she was doing a story on Cardi B, where Cardi B was on the red carpet, and this guy, this reporter asked her, did she think her and Nicki Minaj would ever bury the hatchet and collab together? And Cardi B kind of like smiled and was like, never answered the question. And so then all of a sudden Wendy would notice that there was this security guard in the image standing behind Cardi B. So she turns around and she's looking at the image, and she was like, okay, you know, I'm back on the market so I can be checking out these guys. And that was like the closest she got to it. So then she, you know, basically said, she had said before that, you know, she recognizes that, you know, she does the Hot Topics and she's now the Hot Topics. But she says that she's changing the motto, and the motto is their business is our business, just like my business is your business. So, you know, once again, we thought, okay, she getting ready to say something, but, you know, let the opportunity pass. She didn't say anything, and she really doesn't have to say anything. My whole thing with Wendy is, Wendy and I are the same age, and I'm just happy that she has made this decision, because it kind of like really hurt my heart when she would come out, like when she came back from the Christmas break or the winter break, and, you know, she was like, as long as this, you know, ring is on my finger, you know, I'm still married. And it was like she was being so defiant. And I think, you know, most people, at least most women, probably could speak to the fact where you are like in love with this guy, you know he's no good, your family's really trying to push you to leave him, but you're trying to hold on to the hold on, and you're trying to put up a brave face, and then you still end up having to turn around and face that embarrassment of it didn't work out, and you tried to support this person and believe in this person. And so I really understand that. The only disappointing part, you know, but everybody has their own time. But, and I think I mentioned this before in a video where I said that, you know, in your 20s, That's your time to experiment, to learn who you are as a person, to be stupid, to be running behind the car, you know, to be doing all this crazy stuff, the spying, the snooping, and all of that. And I think you go through that in your 20s so you can learn who you are and you'll become the person that you're supposed to be. I believe in your 30s, you use those things that you learned in your 20s to make better decisions. In your 40s, you just start to get at that point where you say, okay, Mr. Right hasn't come along. I'm going to live my life anyway. I'm going to date. I'm going to be free. I'm going to be happy. And by the time you reach your 50s, you just really don't care because, you know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, when you're 50 years old, there's like a 99% chance that you have already exceeded the halfway mark in your life. So why would you sit there and waste precious time, you know, on a bad relationship, on somebody that's bringing you down, on somebody that's holding you back? And so that would be my only disappointment with Wendy. And I realize she's been married to this man for 22 years, but for 22 years, she's been in the news about him cheating on her, because you guys remember when he cheated with the assistant, and their video of the two of them having sex was all over the internet. Like, he has been so rude and so disrespectful to Wendy. And then I was thinking, I was watching something and they were talking about Wendy and how the reason it may have been so hard for her to leave. And I thought this made so much sense. And that is, you get with a person and you get comfortable with that person, and that person accepts you for who you are. They accept you not only for the good things about you, but they accept you for all your flaws. And so maybe as Wendy has grown older, she realizes, like, here's somebody who was with me. You know, people joke about, you know, how she looks. She looks like E.T. They joke about her body and how skinny she is, and she has those big boobs. And I think as women, we start telling ourselves that nobody else is going to want us, you know, because of the way we look. Now we're older, you know, just putting it in your head that nobody's going to want you for whatever you consider your flaws to be. And so that could be one reason, you know, why she stayed as long as she did, because she starts telling herself, you know, nobody's going to want me. But I'm thinking that if it's meant to be, like, no matter if, because I know 60-year-olds that have gotten married for the first time, 50-year-olds that have gotten married for the first time. And I think it's all about putting yourself out there, having a positive attitude, being confident about who you are. And if you want a relationship, then you go out there and you'll bring that relationship to you. And so I hope that, you know, Wendy isn't beating herself up, that she is positive about her outlook on life, and that if she wants to be loved again, that, you know, that love will come to her. And then the other part of it, you know, I'm sure money had a lot to do with it, because we know that, you know, he was her manager, he was an executive producer on the show, and so I'm sure their finances are really intertwined together. And so hopefully Wendy had like a prenup or something that had a clause in there about infidelity and about making babies with other women and all of that stuff. And then even if there is nothing there and she ends up having to give him half of her wealth or whatever, you have to look at it as, that's the price I have to pay to be happy. That's the price I have to pay to get you out of my life so I can move on. And if I have 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 more years left, they're going to be the best 10, 20, 30, 40 years of my life. And I firmly believe that. And so I say kudos to Wendy. She had a little pep in the step. She was running around, bouncing up and down them stages, and I just had not seen her with that much joy since all of this, like especially the rumors about the mistress and all that. And oh, and then I was reading something else where they were saying that he was abusive to her, and that maybe that's how she got the fracture in her arm. So whatever the situation is, let's hope that Wendy doesn't do like a lot of us do, because, you know, you're feeling revived right now, you're feeling happy right now, but then a week from now, you know, you leave that sober house whenever she leaves, and, you know, your son is off at college. So now you're in your new Manhattan apartment and you're alone and you're starting to feel lonely. And then Kevin gonna start calling because y'all know that mistress don't want Kevin, because y'all saw what Kevin looked like in that video I just showed y'all. That woman doesn't want Kevin, and if it's true that she has another man out there, some guy named DeMarcus, she showed up in the show out on Kevin. And you know, because the mistress only wants him part-time. She just wants him for what he's doing, for that whatever he's giving her in that moment, but she really wants him to go back home to his wife. And so now she probably will have Kevin knocking at her door 24/7. Maybe he done moved in with her, I don't know, but we're gonna find the truth out about, what's her name, Serena or Sheena, whatever her name is. We're going to find out the truth about her real soon, because it's not going to take long. Y'all remember that show, Being Mary Jane, how Mary Jane was all in love with that man, but then when she told that man he could move in with her, she realized, there is a difference between the wife and the mistress, okay? Because you need to go on back where you had this woman cooking for you, putting up with your mess, picking up your dirty drawers off the floor. I don't want that over here. So guys, I believe that was all I wanted to share. What didn't really want to focus so much on the fact that she had filed for a divorce, but more so that I'm happy for her, and that you know, hopefully her future is much brighter than what the past has been. And if she wants to be in love again, then I'm sure that there is some man out there that will give her what she wants. Because despite what she does for a living, which is gossiping and being in other people's business, nobody deserves to be lied to be cheated on, to be beat on, or any other thing, the negative things that he brought into her life. And so, Wendy, I am happy for you. I'm praying for you, and I wish you the best, girls. So that is it for me for this video. I have a couple of more videos that I'm going to try and get out today so that I can get all caught up, and hopefully I won't be gone so long again. So guys, that's it. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Are you happy for Wendy? Do you think, are you not happy for Wendy? Leave your comments below. Rate the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.